Today, we're going to talk about how to lose money. You might be thinking, why would I want to learn how to lose money? Wouldn't it be better to learn how to make money? Well, here's the thing. When we study how successful people obtain their wealth, they all did it in such different ways. Sam Walton had amazing people skills that led him to dominate his industry with Walmart. While Elon Musk, on the other hand, wasn't that great at talking to people. But his love for books and his belief in his products allowed him to create not one, but two huge companies. That just goes to show that there are so many ways you can make money. When it comes to losing money, though, people make the same mistakes over and over. That's why understanding what not to do is just as important as understanding what to do. The number one cause for losing large amounts of money is letting emotions cloud our judgment. The book emphasizes this one point in great detail with many examples. An example of letting emotions cloud our judgment is overestimating our abilities. Do you know someone who reads a single book on investing, enters the stock market, and expects to beat the guys who have been doing it for years? If you don't, now you do, because that's what I did. A few years ago, I read the book The Intelligent Investor, didn't understand half the concepts, but decided to start buying stocks anyway. I put $10,000 in the stock market. I was in school at the time, so $10,000 was a lot of money. It was all the money I made during the 4 years I worked in retail. So fast forward about a year, I lost $4,000 of my original $10,000. I decided to call it quits and realized I wasn't good at stocks. Maybe I was lucky though, because the stock market for the most part is a 50-50 game. The stock price either goes up or down. So some beginners actually get lucky. But that's where the danger comes in. When we start attributing our success to our own skill, we begin to make bolder and bolder moves until we lose it all. In order to avoid this trap, we have to be open to the fact that it can and will happen to us. We don't think it will, just like how we think we are less likely to be a crime victim than everyone else, or that we are less likely to get cancer than everyone else. It's called Optimism Bias. As long as we realize that it will happen to us, we can create a set of rules to prevent it from happening. It doesn't just happen to beginners either. In fact, the more successful we become, the harder it hits. The author of the book had a super successful streak for years. He worked at a golf course as a kid and was lucky enough to caddy for a rich person who flew him around to different golf tournaments. In college, he directly asked the fraternity leader for a pledge form and managed to skip the whole rush process. In the military, he became the first master instructor at a second lieutenant rank, which was unheard of at the time. He then worked trading index funds and sold $140,000 the first year and became the top of the company. He felt unstoppable. He was attributing his success to his skill and felt that he was somehow special. This went on until his courage continued to grow, and then he lost everything. But here are 3 techniques to prevent this from happening. Make decisions before the trade. In stocks, it means setting a rule of when you will opt out when your position becomes too bad. Within a business, it means having rules of when to stop failing projects before it uses too much capital. It could also mean having a plan. When my company generates X amount of revenue, that's when I will launch this new project. Setting a plan will prevent you from being tempted to start a new project earlier because you are caught up in the excitement, which would lead to more risk. For life in general, it could mean, how much money do I want to make before I am satisfied? A lot of people don't have a goal in terms of the amount of money they want to have. They just keep wanting more and more, and they neglect all other areas of their lives that make them happy as a result. The second is never justify your loss. When people ask, why is the market up? Why is the market down? They don't really want to know the reason why. They are looking for a justification for their loss. By justifying a loss to something external, they are protecting their egos from feeling that they failed. This will only lead to more danger because if they externalize losses, they will more likely bet more money so they can win it all back. Always seek to improve and learn from your mistakes, but really ask yourself, are you purely looking to improve, or is it a justification for your loss? If it's the latter, stop what you're doing, go for a walk, and come back when you're in a different state of mind. Lastly, understand that in the moment you will be blind, but as long as you stick to your rules, you'll be fine. When we learn to avoid personalizing our successes and to set boundaries for our actions during emotional moments, we are well on our way to creating, or rather keeping, our wealth. I hope you enjoyed the video. If you enjoyed it, click subscribe. Also, check out the Lean Startup for knowledge any entrepreneur will benefit from. Alternatively, you can check out The Art of War as well for a relaxing dose of life lessons. See you next week.